Introduce Warrant Officer first, Sherry Shackelford.
Mr. Mayor, ma'am, veterans, military members, and fellow citizens of Carthage, it is my humble privilege to address you today. We join together to honor those who made freedom possible on this, the 100th anniversary of the Armistice Agreement. On the morning of November the 11th, 1918, after 4 years of war, Allied and German powers signed an armistice halting the hostilities of World War I. This agreement went into effect on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. It was President Woodrow Wilson who turned the nation's thoughts toward those who had sacrificed on America's behalf. He proclaimed the first Armistice Day both to honor the service of the troops and to celebrate the opportunity that victory provided for the United States, an opportunity to advance the course of peace and justice in the world. The country and Congress agreed, declaring November the 11th a national holiday. It was President Dwight D. Eisenhower who officially changed the title to Veterans Day. Over the last 100 years, with many wars since, the holiday has evolved to include all veterans of war. Veterans Day is a tribute to those who fought to defend their country, to liberate the victims of tyranny, and advance the principles of freedom and democracy throughout the world. What does it mean to be a veteran? The federal definition of a veteran is any person who served honorably on active duty in the armed forces of the United States. Lieutenant General John F. Kelly of the United States Marine Corps, although specifically speaking about Iraq and Afghanistan service members, stated they are American heroes that served not for money or promises of bonuses or travel to exotic liberty ports, but for one reason, and one reason alone: a commitment to protect this nation, swearing an oath to their God to do so to their deaths. As a veteran, I stand before you declaring I was patriotic before enlisting and becoming a trained soldier. However, it's only after serving that I understand the term veteran. Whether serving in one of the world wars, the Korean War, Vietnam, the Gulf War, Iraq, or Afghanistan, whether a volunteer or a draftee, the sacrifice, dedication, and sense of duty remains instilled within your core. Only the veterans of service know how blessed life in America truly is. According to the Veterans Administration, the veteran population counted in 2016 living veterans in the United States ranging from the ages of 20 to over 85, total in excess of 20 million. Over 470,000 of those are from the great volunteer state of Tennessee. And out of those volunteers, 43,550 are women. In case you did not notice, I am a woman. Historically, women have served through our country's history, from the Revolutionary War as cooks, laundresses, nurses, and spies, through World War II with the roles evolving into mechanics, pilots, clerks, nurses, and ambulance drivers. In the early 1900s, Congress established the Army and then the Navy Nurse Corps. All of these women served without rank or benefit. Traditionally, women only served in times of war, until the women of these wars pioneered the way for us all. Women like Navy nurse Lena Sutcliffe Higby, earning the Navy Cross, and Commander Elizabeth Barrett, the first woman commander to serve in a combat zone. It was less than 30 years ago that women were allowed to be fighter pilots in a combat zone. In 2008, Army General Ann Dunwoody was the first woman to achieve 4-star officer status. And in 2014, just 4 years ago, Admiral Michelle Howard became the first female 4-star admiral. In today's military, you may choose your career path, no matter if you are male or female. You do not have to be handsome or pretty. You do not have to be from a certain background or community. You do not have to be extremely smart or funny. You have to be an American, trainable, willing to learn, and willing to work. You have to be patriotic and a team player, of good character and integrity. And I highly recommend you start when you're young. I am Warrant Officer 1, Sherry Shackelford, a supply systems technician, serving the Army National Guard, State of Tennessee, assigned to the 730th Quartermaster Company of a Combat Sustainment Support Battalion. Before my enlistment, I was simply a wife, mother, citizen, business college graduate, and a successful co-owner of a construction company. My enlistment story is one of faith, deliverance, and comedy. At age 38, tragedy struck my business partner, seriously threatening the continuance and literally the livelihood of my family. I turned toward the Lord and I prayed continuously for help in not only surviving financially, but overcoming the wolves biting at my heels permanently. With our country at war, a recruiter started calling my house for my teenage daughter. Now, as a mother, I encouraged her to make her own decisions, but I knew she would need my protection from these awful recruiters. I, the mother bear, attended this appointment set on safeguarding that which I loved so dearly. After his deliverance of the opportunity to serve, expressing the country's needs, along with the numerous career opportunities, free training, and continued education benefits, Mama Bear then says, "I wish I wasn't too old for this." And the Lord delivered. That month proved quite profitable for that recruiter in my family, physically, monetarily, and emotionally. In 2006, my daughter, my son, and I all enlisted. My son and I are veterans of the Iraq War, Operation Iraqi Freedom. I served with the 230th Air Cavalry Squadron, 30th Troop Command, Tennessee Army National Guard, attached to the 10th Mountain Division at Tal Afar, Iraq, for a year. Although my son and daughter have since sought other paths, I found my true calling, a career that constantly evolves and changes, with educational and advancement opportunities everywhere. And the military has the most innovative and cool tools and equipment to learn on, to play with. In a short 10 years, I advanced to the rank of Staff Sergeant, and in 2017, converted to the Warrant Officer Corps. Warrant officers, by definition, are technical experts within their field, working with commanders and subordinates as innovative integrators of emerging technologies, dynamic teachers, confident warfighters, and developers of specialized teams of soldiers. In translation, that means middle management, expert project and personnel leaders. Yes, I served in war. Yet, like other veteran service members, hero does not describe me. I did my job to the best of my ability with dedication. I continue to serve despite the sacrifices and common fears, for I know in order to set a good example for my family and community, and in order to maintain this country I love so dearly, I must continue to educate and challenge myself, setting the example while remaining the dedicated wife, mother, and now grandmother I originally chose to be. As Elmer Davis said, this nation will remain the land of the free only so long as it is the home of the brave. Women are now recognized as a part of that brave. Everyone in attendance today either is a veteran or knows a veteran. Whether you realize it or not, each and every life in America has been touched by a veteran. Please, please take the time to say thank you for what you have and the freedoms you enjoy today are a direct result of the servicemen and women, past and present. I would like to go a step further. If you served, please step up again and serve your communities. Volunteer or join an organization that continues to lead our youth while honoring our service members. Volunteer in your communities and churches. To the youth in attendance, take the opportunity to serve. Choose a military branch and a career path. Do a single tour of duty or make your service a career, but at least consider it. Your country needs you, all of you, still. In closing, I thank you all for your support this day. I thank you veterans for your service, and I salute you. Leaving you with two final quotes. Sergeant Alvin C. York, one of our own hometown heroes, said, "The thing they forget is that liberty and freedom and democracy are so very precious that you do not fight to win them once and stop. Liberty and freedom and democracy are prizes awarded only to those peoples who fight to win them and then keep fighting eternally to hold them." And finally, by General Kelly, "When future generations ask why America is still free, our hometown heroes, soldiers, sailors, airmen, Coast Guardsmen, and Marines can say, because of me and people like me who risk all to protect millions who will never know my name."